Stop passively wearing the Miraculous Medal. Most people treat this object like a piece of jewelry or a good luck charm, completely missing the point. I'm going to show you the exact words, the specific spiritual mechanics, to request the promised blessings immediately. This isn't superstition. It is a contractual promise made by the Mother of God to a world that was falling apart. And to understand how to unlock it, we have to go back to the moment the contract was signed. Let's drop into Paris, 1830. If you think the world feels chaotic right now, it is nothing compared to the streets of France in the 19th century. The city was a literal powder keg. The French Revolution had already torn through the country, leaving a legacy of guillotine blades, desecrated churches, and martyred priests. But the dust hadn't settled. In July of 1830, just weeks before our story begins, the streets erupted again. Barricades went up. Musket fire shattered the windows. The king was overthrown. The citizen king, Louis Philippe, took power, but the atmosphere was toxic. The gap between the ultra-rich and the starving poor wasn't just a statistic. It was a death sentence. People were flooding into Paris from the countryside, living in squalor so deep that just 2 years later, a cholera epidemic would wipe out nearly 20,000 Parisians in a matter of months. Death was everywhere. Faith was being mocked in the newspapers and outlawed in the streets. It was a world that had violently rejected God. And it was exactly here, in this epicenter of misery and rebellion, that heaven decided to invade earth. Not with an army of angels, not with thunder and lightning, but with a whisper to a nobody. Meet Catherine Labouré. She wasn't a theologian. She wasn't a mystic celebrity. She was a farm girl from the Burgundian countryside, the 8th of 10 children. Her life was defined by tragedy before she even hit puberty. When she was 9 years old, her mother died. Now watch what she does next, because this is the key to her character. In the empty silence of her farmhouse, this 9-year-old girl climbs onto a chair, reaches for a statue of the Blessed Virgin on the mantelpiece, hugs it, and says, "Now, dear Blessed Mother, you will be my mother." That wasn't just a sweet sentiment. It was a transfer of allegiance. It was total surrender. Fast forward to 1830. Catherine is 24. She fights her father's refusal and enters the Daughters of Charity in Paris. She is practically illiterate, quiet, and tasked with the most menial labor. But while she scrubbed floors, she was seeing things that would break a normal mind. She saw the heart of Saint Vincent de Paul floating in the air, pulsing in different colors. White for peace, red for fire, crimson for the blood that would soon spill on the streets of Paris. She saw Christ in the Eucharist, not as bread, but as a king stripped of his robes. She was being prepped. Then came the night of July 18th, 1830. The eve of the feast of Saint Vincent. Catherine goes to sleep praying for one thing, to see the Blessed Mother. At 11:30 p.m., she wakes up. She hears her name. "Sister Labouré! Sister Labouré!" She pulls back the curtain and sees a child, maybe 4 or 5 years old, glowing with an internal light. The child says, "Get up and come to the chapel. The Blessed Virgin is waiting for you." Now, this is a convent. It's locked down, it's night. But Catherine gets dressed and follows this glowing child. And here is the detail that always gives me chills. As they walk, the locked doors of the convent swing open automatically the moment the child touches them. They reach the chapel, and it is blazing with light. All the candles are lit, as if it's midnight mass, but the room is empty. Catherine kneels. She waits. Then the child speaks. "Here is the Blessed Virgin." Catherine hears a sound, not a choir, not a trumpet. She hears the rustle of a silk dress. A woman of impossible beauty walks into the sanctuary and sits in the priest's chair. Catherine can't help herself. She rushes forward, falls to her knees, and rests her hands on the Virgin's lap. She looks up into the face of the Mother of God. Catherine later wrote, "There a period of time passed, the sweetest of my life. It would be impossible for me to say what I experienced. For 2 hours they talked. This wasn't a sermon, it was a briefing. Mary told her, 'The times are evil. Misfortunes will fall upon France. The throne will be overturned. The whole world will be overcome by evils of all kinds.'" She was predicting the chaos that was literally days away. But then she pointed to the foot of the altar and gave the solution. "Come to the foot of this altar. Here, Graces will be spread over all who ask for them with confidence and fervor. Remember that word, confidence. 4 months later, November 27th, 1830. The chaos Mary predicted is happening. Catherine is in the chapel again. Suddenly, the silence breaks. She hears the silk dress again. She looks up, and the air shimmers. She sees a vision that looks like a living painting. Mary is standing on a globe, crushing the head of a serpent beneath her heel, the ancient symbol of the victory over evil. In her hands, she holds a small golden globe, offering it to God. Then, the image shifts. The golden globe vanishes. Mary's arms sweep down. Her fingers are covered in rings, set with precious gems. And from these gems, blinding rays of light are blasting down toward the earth. Catherine is dazzled, but she notices something strange. Some of the gems are dark. They aren't emitting any light. These rays symbolize the graces I shed upon those who ask for them. The gems from which rays do not fall are the graces for which souls forget to ask. Let that sink in. There are miracles with your name on them, sitting in heaven, collecting dust, simply because you haven't asked for them. An oval frame forms around the vision with gold lettering. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee. And then, the command drops. Have a medal struck after this model. All who wear it will receive great graces. They should wear it around the neck. Graces will abound for persons who wear it with confidence. The vision rotates. Catherine sees the reverse side. A large letter M surmounted by a cross. Below it, 2 hearts, one crowned with thorns, the other pierced by a sword, and around it, 12 stars. This wasn't a suggestion. It was a blueprint. But does it work? Is this just pious symbolism? Or does it actually alter reality? Let's look at the case of Alphonse Ratisbonne. If you wanted to find the person least likely to wear this medal, it was Alphonse. It's 1842. Alphonse is a wealthy Jewish banker. He is secular, sophisticated, and he hates the Catholic Church. He considers it a backward institution. He is especially bitter because his own brother became a priest. He's in Rome, mocking the faith, when a Catholic friend challenges him. The dare. Wear this miraculous medal and copy down a short prayer called the Memorare. Alphonse laughs. He says yes, purely as a joke. He thinks, if it does me no good, at least it will do me no harm. He puts the medal around his neck. A few days later, January 20th, 1842, Alphonse is waiting for a friend in the church of Sant'Andrea delle Fratte. He's wandering around, bored, criticizing the art. Suddenly, the church goes dark. The chaos of Rome disappears. All the light in the universe seems to concentrate into one side chapel. Alphonse looks Standing on the altar is the Virgin Mary, distinct, terrible in her beauty, looking exactly as she does on the medal. She doesn't say a word. She just signals him to kneel. He tries to look at her face, but the brilliance is too strong. He falls to the ground. In that single second, the banker, the skeptic, the enemy of the church, receives the download of the entire Catholic faith. He understands original sin, the Eucharist, the redemption. When his friend finds him, Alphonse is sobbing on the floor, clutching the medal, unable to speak. He became a priest. He dedicated his life to God. That is the power we are dealing with. So, how do you activate this in your life? How do you move from wearing a piece of metal to receiving the rays of light that Mary promised? First, stop treating it as a charm. The medal is a sacramental. It is a physical object that the church uses to focus prayer and prepare your heart for grace. Step 1 is acquisition. Get the medal. It doesn't need to be gold. Aluminum works just as well. Step 2 is crucial. Get it blessed. Take it to a priest. That blessing dedicates the object to God. But step 3 is where the magic happens. You must wear it with confidence. That was the specific condition in the apparition. Graces will abound for persons who wear it with confidence. You are wearing a sign that says, I belong to this lineage. I am under this protection. Here is the protocol for your daily life. When you wake up, before you check your phone, touch the medal around your neck. Say the prayer from the vision. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee. This sets the spiritual frequency for your day. Throughout the day, use the medal as a tactile trigger. When you feel anxiety spiking, when you are about to lose your temper, when you face a temptation, physically grasp the medal. Let the medal pressing against your skin be the signal to stop and pivot. In that moment, invoke the Ratisbon protocol. Pray the Memorare. Remember, O most compassionate Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to your protection, implored your assistance, or sought your intercession was left unaided. You can even make a formal act of consecration. This is you signing the contract. You say, O Virgin Mother of God, I dedicate and consecrate myself to you under the title of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. May this medal be for each one of us a sure sign of your affection and a constant reminder of our duties toward you. This tiny object is a weapon. It's a shield. It connects the chaos of your life to the order of heaven. The rays of grace are there, waiting in those dark gems. All you have to do is ask. If you want to understand the deeper theology behind these apparitions, or if you have a story about the Miraculous Medal, drop it in the comments below. I read them all. Subscribe if you want to go deeper into the history that schools forgot. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee.